Okay, so this is called Fudgy Flourless Chocolate Cake. And I know that I'm seeing Judy's favorite up on the screen, Kim Parker. And she came by the studio Friday and I had made this and she took a little piece home. So I hope she liked it. It was good. But this is no secret. This is a recipe that I pulled right off of the Tupperware site or the Facebook group that's got recipes. It is under the recipes of the new Whip and Mix. And so you can go find it there. I'll also post it in Bravo after I get finished tonight. But it's fudgy flourless chocolate cake. And it has no flour in it, none whatsoever. The thickening that's going to hold it together and make it thick is going to be cocoa powder. Okay, so I'm going to run through the recipe really quickly. I'm going to show you some really cool products and tell you how to do everything. The first thing you want to do is you want to heat your oven to 375. So I have my oven heated to 375, and you're going to take out your new Whip and Mix. If you don't have this yet, you can sample this, okay? So I love the Whip and Mix. It's become my new best friend. And I'll also show you guys later when you come back, if there's time, Judy, how to use this to make heavy whipping cream as well. To make whipping Cool Whip with heavy whipping cream. So tonight we're going to mix brownie mixes, cake mixes, things like that. You can do really thick mixes. None of our Tupperware products are as great as this one for mixing cake mixes, cookie mixes, brownie mixes. This is going to do really thick. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take 4 ounces of chocolate. You're going to put it in your micro pitcher with your 1 cup over on top of your 2 cups, so it keeps it from splashing or popping in your microwave. You're going to put a stick of butter in there, and you're going to put 2 pieces of your almond bark chocolate or 4 ounces of your chocolate chips, and you're going to melt that in the microwave. Super, super easy. Took about 45 seconds for that to microwave and melt. We're going to take this, and we are going to pour that mixture into our Whip and Mix. Okay, of course I'm using my spatula. So as you guys are watching me do this tonight, I want you to kind of think about when you're doing a demonstration on Facebook, if you're going live, if you're doing a party on Facebook, or even an in-home party, all the products that you would use. And just like I'm talking and kind of mixing, same thing. We're going to add 3/4 cups of sugar, and then we are going to also add salt. We're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. As you guys can see, I already have things pre-measured, or my measuring spoon's out and ready to go. That way it takes less time. And all I'm going to do now is I am going to mix those ingredients together. And the way that this goes on, if you didn't attend Jubilee this year, or virtual Jubilee, and you don't own this yet, it's got your little, I call them teeth, right there, and they just snap right onto the back handle. And you're really going to need to put your hands up here, kind of like our Power Chef. You're going to need to put it up here. It's got a 1 and a 2. The instructions say to have it on the 2. So all you're going to do is you're going to blend and mix. And if you guys will look right here, you guys will see that being mixed together. Super, super easy. It's effortless. Look, I can use like one little finger. Super easy. And then as we get that mixed together, I'll show you guys what it looks like. Not a whole lot to see, but I just got that all creamed together. It's very liquidy because of that chocolate. And now I'm going to add a teaspoon of our vanilla, okay? And my vanilla is in my Tilton. I think my vanilla sometimes wants to be a little sticky up there. It's in my little Tilton pour. Got that. Teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're also going to add 3 eggs, okay? So I've got 3 eggs. I'm going to mix that together. And then after I get this all mixed together, I am going to start adding in my my cocoa powder, okay? So it calls for half a cup of cocoa powder, and that's what's going to give it that thickness. So until you get to that part of it's going to still be kind of liquidy. If you guys can see in my little mini mix and pour pitcher, which is what I call that because it looks just like a little mix and pour pitcher. It's going to be pretty runny. You guys can see the consistency of that. Now, as I start adding, see if I can do this without making a terrible mess. As I start adding, you're going to add a little bit of cocoa powder, about half of it, and then you're going to mix because it's going to get super thick super fast, okay? All right. So I still have left my little notch on 2. You're never going to take it off a 2. So I've mixed in half of a cup of cocoa powder. It's getting thicker, you guys can see. And now I'm going to add the rest of my cocoa powder in, okay? So I've got all that in. So as I'm doing this, I'll just run through the ingredients. Chocolate, butter, sugar, salt, vanilla, eggs, and cocoa powder. That's it. That's all the ingredients that you need. Pretty staple ingredients. If you wanted to dust it with some powdered sugar at the end, you can. It does tell you how to do that. All right, so I've got this mix. It's really not hard. I'm not struggling or anything like that, but I want you to see how thick this mixture is as soon as I'm finished. So watch this. You saw how liquidy it was. Well, it's still pretty liquidy. All right, we're gonna get this going. It's gonna be thicker. If it's not thick enough, I may have too much chocolate in there. So what do you do if you need something to be thicker? You add more cocoa powder. You can never go wrong with cocoa powder. So I'll just go grab some more cocoa powder and add that to it if I don't have it thick enough. I am going to run my spatula and make sure that I don't have a bunch of stuff stuck on the bottom, and I do not. Okay. All right. So I'm going to add a little bit more cocoa powder to this, because when I made it the other day, it was a whole lot thicker than that. So I'm going to just add a little bit more to it and then pour it. When I get ready to pour it, I'm going to pour it in the top of my Ultra Pro cover. So this is the cover that goes to the lasagna pan or the 6-quart roasting pan that we all just had an opportunity to earn from Tupperware. It goes in the oven, so it works perfectly as a shell for your pies or your cakes or your cookies or your brownies. You can, this recipe does call for using the bar pan. That's a piece of silicone. That silicone bar pan will fit right inside of here. You can pour it in and put it in the oven. You can also use your muffin forms, and you can make little small individual cakes if you want to. And then you can also, I did try this in the Ultra Pro ring. I did half the mixture in the ring and half the mixture in the bar pan. The bar pan came out more like a brownie, and the one in the Ultra Pro, excuse me, in the grill ring came out more chewy, like chewier brownies. They were both amazing and both really good. But I did want you guys to know that you could kind of play around with the recipe and what you're going to cook it in, because there's so many options. So I'm going to turn it back over to Judy. I'm going to add a little bit more powdered, cocoa to get it thickened. And then I'm just going to pour it in here. I'll leave my camera on, Judy, so people can still see me. But I'll let you guys move on, and then you can come back after I get it cooked.